Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were the underdog in your own story? Like everyone around you had already written your ending before your story even began? Yeah, they boxed you in, labeled you, and filed you away under least likely to succeed. But what if I told you that very version of you they discounted is now the version they secretly look up to? Here's the twist. They never imagined you'd become a respected leader. Nope, not the one who speaks last in the room but gets heard the loudest. Not the one who people look to for wisdom, calm, and vision. You weren't supposed to glow up. You were supposed to burn out quietly in the background, but here you are, thriving, shining, and they're low-key stunned. This message isn't for everyone. You'll feel it in your spirit if it's for you. You'll know because your journey has been uphill in the dark with no GPS. Yet somehow you kept moving. You didn't have a crowd cheering you on. Instead, you had people betting against you. Some were even family, some were friends. Remember them? You see, they never thought you'd make it out of survival mode. You were supposed to be stuck in cycles, poverty cycles, trauma cycles, silent cycles. They wanted you tired, confused, and beneath them. Let's be honest, they liked you better when you didn't know your worth. Harsh, but true. But instead of staying bitter, you got better. You disappeared for a while. Not because you were lost, but because you were working in silence. Cue dramatic music. While they were laughing, you were learning. While they were partying, you were planning. And now, you're 3 steps ahead and they're still playing catch-up. Here's the kicker. They're now quietly studying you. Yup, watching your moves, watching your growth. They're confused because you've become the very thing they thought you'd never be. A leader with influence, with peace, with clarity. But don't let that get to your head just yet. They don't hate you. They just hate that they can't figure you out. How did you rise without the resources they denied you? How did you build something from nothing? How are you smiling after all they did to break you? It's because you had a guide, a voice inside, something spiritual and divine that kept nudging you forward. And you listened, even when it was hard, even when people called you crazy, even when your bank account said, "Nah, fam." You didn't let the doubt kill the dream. You chose the path of discomfort, and now the fruit is showing. Growth always looks silent on the outside, until the results start talking. Let's be real for a second. Leadership isn't about barking orders or showing off success. It's about being an example when the lights are off and nobody's watching. You became that example, without needing applause. You turned your pain into wisdom. You turned rejection into redirection. And now you're walking with power. But here's where it gets tricky. Now that you're elevated, they want to follow. The same ones who laughed, ignored, excluded you, they're now looking for your guidance. They're realizing that your journey wasn't luck. It was alignment. And deep down, some of them wish they had listened sooner. So here you are now, in this strange position. You've become the blueprint, the lighthouse, the voice of wisdom. Not because you sought to be praised, but because you stayed obedient to that inner voice. The very people who once doubted you, they now find themselves imitating your every move. Isn't it wild how the tables turn? The person they said would never be somebody has now become the person they can't stop watching. That's what happens when you walk your path regardless of who believes in you. That's what happens when you choose evolution over ego. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to break generational chains, to disrupt old patterns, to be the interruption in a toxic system. You didn't ask for this role, but you were built for it. And now you're walking in it unapologetically. And let me say this with love. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't dull your light so they can avoid their shadows. You paid a high price for your growth. Stand tall in it. Some of them may never clap for you, and that's okay. You didn't level up for their validation. You leveled up to fulfill purpose, and now that you're here, don't just exist, lead. Speak truth, walk in love, set boundaries, teach through your actions. This is only the beginning of your impact. Oh, and don't get it twisted. You're not even in your final form yet. You've only scratched the surface of what's possible. There's more expansion coming, more clarity, more breakthroughs. Keep going, keep glowing. The people who once whispered about you will one day quote you. The ones who avoided you will one day recommend you. Stay humble, but never forget who you are. The journey made you powerful. Own it. And when you feel doubt creeping in, remember how far you've come. You're not just leading people, you're healing legacies. You're not just succeeding, you're rewriting destiny. Now, if this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Your voice is valid here. Let this be a space where leaders rise and find one another. You're not alone anymore. And hey, if nobody's told you today, I'm proud of you. Keep shining. Keep leveling up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Because this space is for people just like you. Leaders, light bringers, legacy makers. And now repeat this prayer with me. Dear God, today I boldly affirm that I am stepping fully into my purpose without fear, shame, or hesitation. I recognize that I was created with intentional design, not to fit into a mold, but to break barriers and light the way for others. I let go of the need for external validation and instead trust the divine compass within me. I may not always feel ready, but I am always chosen. And so I walk forward, imperfect yet powerful, knowing that purpose has already made room for me. I now release every label, lie, and limitation spoken over me, whether by others or by my own inner critic. I tear down the walls of false identity that were built from fear, rejection, or misunderstanding. In their place, I embrace my divine identity, one rooted in truth, wholeness, and love. I choose to see myself the way my Creator sees me, worthy, radiant, and deeply significant. No label can limit what heaven has ordained. I walk in divine authority, fully aware that my light is not an accident. It is an assignment. I no longer shrink to fit in spaces that were never designed to hold the fullness of my calling. I will not apologize for the fire within me, nor will I dim my glow to soothe someone else's comfort zone. My light is here to break darkness, awaken others, and remind the world of what's possible when purpose meets courage. I pray for renewed strength, strength that endures beyond motivation, that carries me through uncertainty and silence. Even when the road ahead is foggy, I trust that each step I take is divinely guided. When my heart is weary and the weight feels heavy, I will pause, not quit. I am never alone. The unseen hand that lifted me before will lift me again. I ask for strength to believe, even when I cannot see. I release the burden of bitterness and extend forgiveness to those who misunderstood, misused, or misjudged me. Their inability to see my value does not diminish it. I forgive them not for their sake, but for mine, so I can be free to rise unshackled by resentment. I understand now that their ignorance was never a reflection of my worth. I choose peace over proving, and love over lingering pain. I call forth divine connections, those sent not to compete but to co-create. I welcome into my life those who see the real me, speak life into my spirit, and walk beside me in truth and loyalty. I no longer chase after those who ignore my soul. Instead, I attract those aligned with my destiny, those who rise with me, build with me, and reflect the divine light I carry. I open my heart to clarity, divine timing, and unwavering direction in every part of my life. I release the anxiety that comes with trying to force things to happen, and instead trust the perfect rhythm of divine unfolding. I thank the source of all wisdom for guiding my steps, even in seasons I didn't understand. I honor the process, celebrate the growth, and give thanks for the protection, peace, and abundance that now surround me. May I always lead with love, act with integrity, and live with purpose. Amen.